Training in technology and cybersecurity is one of the most effective things you can do to propel and protect your business. Hi, thanks for watching another training video by NewFathom. Last time we were talking about just getting started with Outlook. Now we're going to take a deeper dive into how to use Outlook and how to get the most out of it, as you will probably be spending a ton of time working on this, especially if you're in the corporate world at all. So here we go. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up Outlook. So we're going to click the icon. If it's not pinned to your desktop, you can always click the start button and then type in Outlook and open it that way. Once it opens, if it's not pinned, you can right click on it and then you can click this pin button right here and it'll start pinning it to your taskbar so that it's always there when you need it. So first thing that we're going to look at as we're getting into Outlook is just kind of a general overview. What are we looking at here? And we'll go through these tabs. So the first thing is these are the tabs that exist. So there's File, Home, Send, Receive, Folder, View, and Help. And these will change. Each one of these will change based on which location you are, whether you're in Mail, Calendar, People, or Tasks. Those will all change kind of what's inside there. And so down here, I just kind of showed you, these are where you would navigate to your different sections of Outlook. On the bottom right, this is your view setting down here, and then you also have your status. So right now I'm working offline, and that's the status that my accounts are in. So you can see that down there. Up here in the upper left, this is a send and receive. This is like your quick access toolbar is what they call it. And so you can click this little drop down and you can customize that. So if you wanted to always have the print, save as, update folder, you can just add a bunch of buttons up here if you wanted them. And you can also add custom buttons. If you found a command that you're using all the time that you want to add up there, you can add that to that as well. So anyway, that is that. And now we'll just go into these tabs real quick. So the File tab is kind of like your standard File tab of most applications. It's where you're going to go to change your major settings and to open, to save, and to look at kind of the back end of what's going on. In the info section, you can add additional accounts. If you had a Gmail account that you wanted to add in here, you could do it there, or any other work account. You can also change your account settings. And so there's a whole drop down there that we're not going to go into. This is also where you would set automatic replies. So if you're out of the office, you can click it right here. And if you're using Exchange, I got that error because I'm working offline. But anyway, you'd be able to set your automatic reply right there. There's also some settings. So you can empty your deleted folders. You can do a mailbox cleanup, and you can clean up old items to free up space. This also tells you how much space you have left in your account. And right now I have 42 gigs left of 49. So I can use this for a lot longer. It's not going to be a problem. And you can also manage your add-ins. If you're adding some custom software integrations into Outlook, that's a place that you can manage those. We also have the open and export. So you can open an Outlook data file. You can open a calendar. You can import your data and export your data. That's going to be there. Save as. I almost never use that just because I never need to. You can also print from here. You can also see the status of your Microsoft account. You can update Office if you feel like it's not working correctly. That would be a good thing to do. You can also give feedback to Microsoft if you really want to. And you can also look at the options. The options tab gives you a lot of special features that we're going to look at a little bit later, some of the things that you can do to change that. And then you can also exit Outlook. So if you click that, it just closes. You can also just click the close in the upper right if you want to close Outlook. So that's kind of a basic overview. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're going to be working in. And the next thing I want to talk about is just some really basic shortcuts. One of the keys when you're working in Outlook, you can spend a ton of time checking your email. So if there's tricks that we can do to make that time less, that's a good idea, and we're going to look at some of those right now. So the first one I'm going to look at are the Outlook shortcuts. So here we go. The first shortcut, to create a new message, you can click Control Shift M. So if we hit Control Shift M, it's going to open up a new email. Control Shift M will work on any tab that you're in. So if you're in the calendar, you can still click Control Shift M and it's going to work there, which is fantastic. And the next one is if you want to search for an item. So if you do Control E, it's going to move you up into this search section right there. So Control E, that's really helpful. Also, if you email me, I will send this link to you. Or if you sign up for our emails or contact us on our website, newfathom.com, we can send this to you. So the other ones, you have these navigation buttons. So if you could Control 1, 2, 3, and 4, we'll navigate to these 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I hit Control 1, that's going to be the mail. Control 2, it's going to go to calendar. Control 3 is going to be people, and so on and so forth. So that's a nice way that you can move around your Outlook pretty quickly. If you want to reply to a message, you can click Control R. And if you want to reply all, you hit Control Shift R. So I'm in this message, and if I hit Control R, it's going to open it up and reply to it that way, which is great. You can also do Control F to forward the message. Control F will forward the message. So right here, we just showed you that one. Display blocked external content. Control Shift I. So sometimes when you get an email, let's see if I have any that are good examples of this. Yeah, no, it's not actually working. Anyway, right, I don't know if that's actually working. Yeah, it's not actually blocking any of the content. Oh, that's because we're working offline. So let's go online, and let's see what happens. Yeah, so sometimes Outlook is going to block images. You can see like this image right here is being blocked, this one right here. And if you want to show that content, you can hit Control Shift I in the message. Maybe. Control Shift, oh, that's Control Shift L. Nope, it's not. All right, well, Control Shift I should be doing this, but it's not. But anyway, you can download these pictures to make it show up the way that it's supposed to. And this still isn't showing up the way that you would expect it. There it is. So anyway, if you see those grayed out buttons, that is the way that you would change that. So there you go. And then if you want to just navigate the emails, you can just press up and down to move through your emails. So those are kind of just quick shortcuts that will make your life easier as you're using Outlook. So the next thing I want to show you is something that I use all the time, because when I start Outlook, usually I'm looking at my calendar. I want to see what's going on today. I'm not there to check my email. I only check my email once or twice a day, but I check my calendar constantly. And so it's really annoying if I go to check my calendar and then I see an email, because then I'm tempted to like, oh, I need to respond to that, instead of just checking my email and then moving on with whatever I'm working on. So in order to change that, I'll show you how to change that, but you could see that when I start Outlook, it is loading my inbox. That's where it goes to first. And I want it to go to my mail instead. So if I go into File, Options, and let's see, and then if I scroll down, I think we can choose where Outlook is going to start. There you go. So we have to go to the Advanced tab, and then it says Start, Outlook, Start, and Exit. So start Outlook in this folder, Inbox. I don't want it to start in my inbox. I want it to start in my calendar. So I'm going to click the Browse button. I'm going to find the folder I want it to start in, which for me is my calendar. And then I'm going to click OK. And you could actually have it start in any folder that you want. So it could start in your inbox. It could start with your contacts. It could start with your tasks. And it could start in a specific emails inbox or task. Or you could start in your to-do list. So I'm going to change that into my calendar. Then I'm going to click OK. Then if we look at this, now when I start Outlook, it's going to load up to my calendar, which is exactly how I want it to be loading, which is fantastic. So the next thing, I already looked at this real quick, but it's important if you're not receiving emails and you're like, oh man, I hope everything's okay, look down here for your status indicator. Sometimes Outlook will not be sending and receiving emails because your account needs a password or your internet connection's bad or something like that. And you'll be able to see the status right down here if you look at that. So that's a really good thing to check. If someone sent you an email, you haven't got it, check down there to see what the status of the account is. So the next thing I want to talk about is searching in Outlook. Outlook and Windows in general has added a really powerful search engine to their accounts, which is going to make your whole life easier. So if you can't find something in Outlook, whether it be a setting or an email, you can just search right here and it will find it for you. So I just went up here to search and I clicked Harrison, which is going to pull up everything because that's my name. And I can choose what I'm searching for. So right now I'm searching in the current mailbox, but if I were to search in all Outlook items, it would search everything. So if I did this, let's do something that might be a little bit more important. So I'm going to search my signature and I'm going to look in all Outlook items right there. And I'm going to click search. And then if I click up here, I can see that there's action. So right here, it will show me if I'm looking for how to change my signature, I can go right here and I can just search for it up here, click all Outlook items, and then it will pull up my signatures where I can go and change a signature, which is fantastic. So I'm going to set my signature. And this is the place where you could go and set your signature. So if you want to do a new signature, you could say new signature. You can click OK. And then you can test signature out. And you can make it however you want. You can make it, according to your company policy or whatever. And then you can apply that signature. We click save. And you can have apply that signature here. So for this email account, for new messages, I want to use my new signature. And for replies and forwards, I want to use the new signature as well. So now when I create a new email, it's going to add that signature right there. And if I want to change that, I can go back here and I can say signature. And it's already showing the action right here. I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to change it to my actual signature. So there you go. That's how you, and this is really powerful. So you can add like work offline. So if that was a setting you were looking for, hey, how do I find work offline? I can't find it. Just go to your search and look for it. And then sure enough, it's showing up right here. So I can click work offline and now I'm working online again. But I want to go back offline, so I clicked it again. So use your search. It's going to be really helpful. Another important thing, and we touched on this in the overview video, is this little thing that's called the focused inbox. I think it's really an important tool because I get a bunch of things that I'm interested in, but I don't always want to read it. So I get a bunch of these are like newsletters that I get. I don't need to be always reading these, but I like to see, kind of skim these and see what's going on. And so I like to see them instead of unsubscribing, but I like them going to a category where it's like, it's not really that important. I'm going to take care of my focused emails first. And then when I have time, I'll go through all of these and skim them and see if there's anything I need to look at in there. Anyway, if you don't see this, the place that you would go to turn it on is in your view section. And there's a button right here that says show focused inbox. If it's unchecked, your email is going to look like this. It's going to look at all and unread. Those are the two categories that you're going to get. And if I click on it, then it's going to sort those into other or focused. So that's really important. If you don't like it, it's totally your preference. I think it's a good idea, would be worth learning, but you don't have to use it. And you can just click uncheck focused inbox and it will turn it off. Another thing that sometimes throws people off is this little conversation button. And this is something that Gmail started doing. Once again, Gmail was kind of like set the best practices for email. And then Microsoft was like, hey, that's a good idea. So what this does is it will track all of your emails. So let's say I reply to this. And I say, test back to you. Boom. I reply to that. And then afterwards, I get another message back from myself. Anyway, these would show up as the same category. And so what you can do with that is it keeps them all in the same way. Let me get an email so I can show you what it will actually look like. Okay, so I just sent and received that new email. And so let's see how this looks here. So first I have to go back online to get the email. I'm going to send and receive, and I got it. So this is what the conversation view looks like. If I click on this little chevron here, it will show me that this is the conversation. So first I got an email, I replied to that email, and then I got a reply back. So this whole conversation is in one spot under this test conversation. And I can expand it or shrink it hitting this little chevron or triangle. And if I uncheck that, I'm just going to say this folder because I don't actually want to change it. It is going to show me the emails as individual emails instead of a continuous thread. And I think it's more helpful to show them as conversations. And so I'm going to check that back. And then once again, I can see the whole conversation. I really like this because not only does it show you all the messages together, but it also shows you the replies that you've sent to that user. So I think it's a good idea to just leave that on there. But once again, you don't have to do that. And last thing I want to show you is this send and receive tab. And once again, this is a great idea. If you have set yourself up to check your mail once or twice a day, you can use this little work offline button, and then you won't get any new emails. Microsoft is going to pretend it doesn't have an internet connection. It won't send emails. It won't receive emails. It won't update anything. It literally kills the connection to Outlook. And so you can set that. If you want to send the emails that you've written, but you don't want to get on your email, like let's say I'm working and I'm sending a bunch of emails. Here's another test. And so I send that. Well, because I'm offline, it's going to show up in this outbox. And it's going to say, hey, here's an email that hasn't sent. And if you close Outlook, you'll also get a warning. It's going to say, you have messages in your outbox waiting to be sent. And if you just say exit and send later, it will exit. If you say don't exit, it will not exit. So if you want to just send those emails, but you don't want to receive any, you can just click this button up here, say send all, and it's going to execute that action and send those emails off. And then, but your inbox is going to stay clean because it's not going to go fetch any new emails. So that is super handy. And then when you're ready to sync again, you can just click the work offline again. And down here, your status is going to change connected to Microsoft Office. So anyway, I hope you liked that overview. I hope you enjoyed kind of getting a overview of using Microsoft. We're going to do some additional videos and some customization of how you can stay organized as well as go into the calendars. But that's all for now. Hope you have a good day.